Am I wrong for telling my sister she needs to choose between her dog and my wedding? I, female, 29, am getting married to Daniel, male, 32, in less than 2 weeks, and what should be the happiest time of my life has turned into a complete nightmare because of my sister Carrie. We've been planning this wedding for like a year and a half, and everything was going mostly fine until now. So some background. Daniel and I met at a charity thing like 5 years ago through our mutual friend Joel. Daniel has severe dog allergies, and I don't mean like, oh, I get sniffly around dogs. I mean he's been to the ER twice in his life because of allergic reactions to dogs. He carries an EpiPen everywhere. This isn't something new or something I just sprung on my family. Everyone has known about this since they met him. We literally have to research hotels before vacations to make sure they don't allow pets or have pet-friendly rooms, because even staying in a room that had a dog can trigger his allergies. My sister Carrie got a golden retriever named Bella about 2 years ago after her fiancé Brady cheated on her with her bridesmaid like 3 weeks before their wedding. Obviously, that was really traumatic for her, and I was there for her through all of it. She got Bella as an emotional support animal, and I'm using quotes because she just bought a vest online. The dog isn't actually trained or certified or whatever, and like I get it, Bella helps her emotionally, no problem there. But the thing is, Carrie has gotten kind of obsessed with this dog. She takes Bella everywhere, restaurants, stores, our parents' house, everywhere. She's canceled plans with me before because Bella was having an anxious day. The dog, not her. I love my sister, but it's gotten a little much even before this wedding issue. When Daniel and I got engaged last fall, I specifically told everyone that the wedding would need to be pet-free because of Daniel's allergies. Like, this wasn't a surprise to anyone. Carrie seemed fine with it at first, but then started making these passive-aggressive comments like, Bella is family too, and can't Daniel just take some Benadryl? And my friend's husband has allergies, and he's fine around dogs if he takes medication. I tried explaining so many times that Daniel's allergies aren't just inconvenient, they're dangerous. I even showed her pictures from when Daniel had a reaction after staying in a hotel room that had dogs in it before. His face was all swollen, and he could barely breathe. She just kept dismissing it like it wasn't a big deal. Then 3 weeks ago, everything exploded. I got a text from Carrie saying she was bringing Bella as her plus one. Just like that, super casual. I called her immediately. When I reminded her about Daniel's severe allergies, she dismissed them, saying he was probably exaggerating and that everyone has allergies to something. I explained that he could end up in the hospital, which would ruin our wedding day. She suggested keeping Bella in a separate room during the ceremony, but I told her that wouldn't work because dog dander gets everywhere. She accused me of always being the princess who gets everything while she's all alone since Brady left. I suggested that her friend Mindy could watch Bella for the day since she loves dogs, but Carrie insisted that Bella needs her and gets anxious when they're apart too long. I tried to be patient, but after going back and forth for about 20 minutes, I finally told her she needed to choose what's more important, her dog or being at her sister's wedding. She hung up on me, blocked me on everything, phone, social media, even email somehow. And now she's telling our parents that I threatened to get rid of or hurt Bella if she brought her to the wedding, which I never said anything like that. I would never threaten an animal. What the frick? Now my mom, who has always favored Carrie, especially since the Brady thing, is calling me saying I need to be the bigger person and make accommodations. My dad is trying to stay neutral like he always does, saying stuff like, you girls need to work this out, which is not helpful, Dad. The worst part is my Aunt Erica, Mom's sister, who is the family gossip, is now telling everyone that I hate animals and am being cruel to my poor sister. Half the family is taking sides, and I'm getting texts from relatives I barely talk to telling me I'm being selfish. I don't know what to do. The wedding is in less than 2 weeks. I want my sister there, but not if it means Daniel could end up in the hospital. Am I seriously being unreasonable here? I don't think I am, but the way my family is acting is making me question myself. Edit. Some people are asking why Daniel can't just take allergy medication. He does. He takes prescription-strength allergy meds daily, but they aren't enough for direct contact with dogs. That's how severe his allergies are. One time we visited a friend who had a dog, which they put in another room, and even with his medication, Daniel's eyes swelled shut within an hour, and he had trouble breathing. This isn't something medication can just handle. That's why he has the EpiPen. No, Bella is not a service dog. She's an emotional support animal that Carrie got after her breakup. She has no training whatsoever. Carrie just bought a vest online and takes her everywhere. I love dogs. I grew up with them. But this isn't about me not liking dogs. It's about my fiance's medical condition. To the people suggesting we have an outdoor wedding to solve this, we already have a venue booked and paid for. And Daniel's allergies can still be triggered outdoors if he's near a dog. Plus, it's the middle of summer and would be like 95 degrees. That's not a solution. For those asking why I'm choosing my fiancé over family, are you serious? He could literally die from anaphylaxis. This isn't a preference, it's a medical condition. And we're getting married. He is my family. Now for the first update. So a lot has happened since my last post. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented and reassured me I wasn't being unreasonable. The wedding happened 3 weeks ago, and yes, it was beautiful. Daniel and I had an amazing day, thank God no allergic reactions, and honestly, for those few hours, I managed to mostly forget about all the drama with my sister. I say mostly because there was definitely this weird feeling with some of my extended family who kept asking where Carrie was, and my mom looked kind of sad in some of the photos, which, whatever. Anyway, I thought maybe once the wedding was over, things would calm down. Like maybe Carrie would realize she was being ridiculous and we could move past this. Nope. Things have gotten so much worse, and I'm seriously at my breaking point with my family. The day after our wedding, literally the day after, my cousin Trisha called me while we were at the hotel about to leave for our honeymoon. She had gone to this family brunch thing my mom organized, which, side note, who plans a family brunch the day after their daughter's wedding when they know we're leaving for our honeymoon? But that's a whole other issue. Anyway, Trisha tells me that Carrie was there telling everyone that I had threatened to poison Bella if she brought her to the wedding. I was completely shocked. Like, what? I never said anything even remotely like that. I literally just told her she needed to choose between bringing her dog or coming to the wedding. That's it. How the hell does that turn into me threatening to poison her dog? I tried not to let it ruin our honeymoon, but honestly, it was always in the back of my mind. Like, who does that? Who makes up something so horrible about their own sister? This weekend at our monthly family dinner at my parents' house, everything got worse. I was dreading it, but Daniel encouraged me to go. He stayed home because he's smart, lol. As soon as I walked in, my mom pulled me aside and asked why I couldn't just apologize to my sister. I was like, are you kidding me? Apologize for what? I didn't do anything. I tried explaining for the millionth time that I never threatened her dog. I just said she couldn't bring Bella to the wedding because of Daniel's allergies. My dad tried to do his usual, you girls have always butted heads thing, which is his way of never actually dealing with anything. Thanks for nothing, Dad. Then my Aunt Erica shows up. And right away asks how I could be so cruel to an innocent animal. I started trying to explain what actually happened, but kept getting interrupted by everyone. My mom was like, let's just move past this, which is code for, let's pretend Carrie isn't lying and make Robin apologize so we don't have to deal with Carrie's tantrum. I finally just asked them point blank, do you actually believe I would threaten to harm an animal? And they just changed the subject. Like, they couldn't even look me in the eye and say, no, of course not. That hurt more than anything else, honestly. So dinner proceeded with the most awkward small talk ever about our honeymoon. And as I was leaving, my dad pulled me aside and quietly said, Carrie's been through a lot, which I guess means I'm supposed to just let her tell everyone I'm an animal-abusing psychopath, because she got cheated on 2 years ago. I mean, that sucks and all, but it doesn't give her the right to make up horrible lies about me. Oh, and it gets better. I found out through our mutual friend Joel that Carrie had actually been planning to secretly bring Bella to the wedding anyway. He showed me screenshots of texts where she was telling him her plan to keep Bella in her car and then smuggle her into the reception after the ceremony when no one would notice. So she was literally planning to risk sending my husband to the hospital on our wedding day. Who does that? I tried one last time to reach out directly to Carrie. I sent her an email explaining that I never threatened her dog. I only asked that she respect Daniel's medical needs for 1 day. You want to know what I got back? A 5-page email listing all my failures as a sister going back to when we were like 8 years old. Apparently I'm the worst sister ever because I got the better bedroom when we were kids. I stole her friend Taylor in 7th grade. And get this, I've always been our parents' favorite, which is laughable considering my mom has always clearly favored Carrie, especially since the Brady thing. The craziest part happened at this post-wedding family thing last weekend. My Uncle Larry, who works at a vet clinic in town, told me that Carrie had brought Bella in claiming she ate something toxic at Robin's house. I was like, what? I haven't even seen Bella in months, and Carrie has never brought her to our apartment. Ever. I'm seriously worried she's trying to create evidence to back up her poison story. And now I'm hearing from multiple family members that Carrie has been showing people these threatening text messages supposedly from me. I've never sent her any threatening messages. I'm guessing they're either completely fake or she's edited some of our actual conversations. My parents are now suggesting we all go to family therapy to resolve this situation. Part of me thinks maybe a neutral third party would see through Carrie's lies, but another part of me feels like, why should I have to defend myself against things I never did or said? I don't know what to do anymore. Do I agree to therapy just to clear my name? Or do I stand my ground and refuse to engage with these ridiculous accusations? Edit. A couple people have asked if I have any proof of what I actually said to Carrie. I don't have a recording or anything, but I do have the original text messages where I very clearly just said she needed to choose between bringing Bella and attending the wedding. I never mentioned harming the dog in any way. But when I pointed this out to my mom, she said, well, we don't know what you said on the phone, which is infuriating. To everyone asking why my family is so quick to believe Carrie, she's always been the fragile one. Even before the Brady thing, my parents were super protective of her. After she got cheated on, it's like everyone thinks she needs to be handled with kid gloves. Also, she's really convincing when she cries, and she cries a lot. Some people have suggested I should cut contact with my family over this. I get where you're coming from, but it's not that simple. Despite everything, I do love them, and Daniel and I are hoping to start our own family soon, and I always imagined my kids would have a relationship with their grandparents and aunt. But maybe I'm being naive. Oh my God, someone just messaged me asking if I'd check my wedding photos for signs of Bella. I hadn't even thought of that. I just went through all our photographer's pictures, and there's no dog. So either she didn't go through with her plan to bring Bella, or she kept her in the car the whole time. I'm kind of freaking out at the thought that she might have had her dog in a hot car during our entire wedding. But knowing Carrie, she probably just chickened out on her plan. Still, what the frick? Now for the second update. So this will probably be my last update on this whole mess with my sister. It's been like 2 months since everything blew up. So after weeks of my parents begging me to just talk to Carrie and work things out for the sake of the family, I finally agreed to go to this family therapy session they set up. I was honestly dreading it, and Daniel thought it was a terrible idea, but I guess part of me still wanted to clear my name. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid and should have cut contact right away, like some of you suggested. Anyway, the therapy session was, well, it started out exactly how I expected. The therapist seemed nice enough, but as soon as Carrie started with the waterworks, I could see the therapist softening toward her. Carrie has always been really good at playing the victim, and she went all out, talking about how traumatized she still is from Brady cheating, how Bella is her only emotional support, and how I threatened her beloved dog because I never liked animals, which is complete BS. I grew up with dogs. I managed to stay calm and just stuck to the facts about Daniel's severe allergies and how I never threatened her dog. The therapist kept nodding, but I could tell she wasn't fully buying my side. But here's where things get interesting. About a week before the therapy session, I got this weird call from my Uncle Larry, the one who works at the vet clinic. After he mentioned to me that Carrie claimed Bella ate something toxic at Robin's house, he apparently got suspicious and decided to check Bella's records at the clinic. You guys, you will not believe this. Larry found that Carrie had brought Bella in 3 separate times, claiming the dog had ingested something either at Robin's house or from something Robin gave her. But all the toxicology tests came back negative, every single time. The dog was completely fine. Larry was super concerned about this pattern of false claims and actually gave me copies of these records where he'd made notes about Carrie's accusations. I'm not sure if he was supposed to do that, but I'm so grateful he did. So I spent the week before therapy gathering as much evidence as I could. Screenshots of my original conversations with Carrie about the wedding, statements from wedding guests who heard what I actually said, the vet records from Uncle Larry, and the best part, I realized I actually had a recording of our phone call where she claimed I threatened Bella. Side note, I record most important calls because I have this terrible memory for details during arguments, something Daniel suggested after a misunderstanding with our landlord last year. I totally forgot I had the recording until I was going through my phone. So back to the therapy session. After Carrie finished her dramatic sobbing story about how I supposedly threatened her precious Bella, the therapist asked me for my perspective. I stayed super calm and asked Carrie to specify exactly what threat I supposedly made against her dog. She got all flustered and vague, saying I would get rid of Bella if she brought her to the wedding. That's when I pulled out my phone and said I have the recording of our conversation. You guys should have seen Carrie's face. She went completely white. I played the recording where you can clearly hear me saying, "You need to choose between bringing your dog and being at the wedding," with absolutely no threats whatsoever. I also had the text messages showing the same thing. Carrie immediately started backpedaling, claiming there were other conversations where I threatened Bella. That's when I pulled out the vet records showing her pattern of false claims about Bella ingesting something at my house, a house her dog has never even been to. She completely lost it, like full-on screaming, crying meltdown. My mom tried to comfort her, but even my parents looked shocked at this point. The therapist had to call for a 10-minute break to let everyone calm down. When we came back, the therapist very gently asked Carrie why she felt the need to exaggerate what happened, and that's when everything finally came out. Through these dramatic sobs, Carrie finally admitted she made up the threats because she was tired of Robin always getting everything. She said she couldn't stand seeing me happy with Daniel when she's still not over Brady leaving her. The dog thing was just a way to make me look bad to the family because she resented me for having a successful relationship when hers fell apart. My parents looked mortified. My mom finally admitted they'd been enabling Carrie's behavior because they were worried about her mental health after Brady left her. My dad actually confessed he'd suspected Carrie was exaggerating but didn't want to take sides. Thanks, Dad. The most shocking part was when Carrie admitted that she had been planning to bring Bella to the wedding despite knowing about Daniel's allergies. She said she didn't believe they were that serious and thought Daniel was being dramatic about the whole thing. She was literally willing to risk sending my husband to the hospital on our wedding day because she didn't want to leave her dog for a few hours. The rest of the session was mostly the therapist talking about boundaries and communication and blah blah blah. But the important part is that the truth finally came out. Since then, things have been, well, not great, but better. My parents have finally acknowledged their role in enabling Carrie's behavior. My mom admitted she'd been overcompensating for Carrie's broken engagement by letting her get away with increasingly manipulative behavior. My dad confessed he knew Carrie was exaggerating, but was too afraid of her emotional meltdowns to call her out. Aunt Erica was apparently horrified when she found out the truth and has been working overtime to correct all the rumors she helped spread. Too little too late, but whatever. Carrie is now seeing her own therapist to work on her attachment issues and manipulative tendencies, the family therapist's words, not mine. We've established some pretty clear boundaries for any potential reconciliation, including her making public apologies to both me and Daniel for her behavior and acknowledging the severity of his medical condition. Our relationship is still super strained, but at least now when we have occasional family gatherings, Bella stays home. I'm still keeping my distance from Carrie until I see real change, but at least the rest of the family knows the truth now. I'm still sad about how all this played out. Like, this is my sister. We used to be close when we were kids, and it sucks that she would go to such extreme lengths just because she's jealous of my relationship. But at the same time, I'm relieved the truth finally came out. If nothing else, this whole experience taught me that sometimes you have to stand firm when you know you're right, even when your family is pressuring you to back down. Daniel has been amazing through all of this. He never once pressured me to make peace at the expense of the truth. And he's been super supportive, even though my family issues have basically consumed the first few months of our marriage. At least he never had to experience an allergic reaction because I stood my ground. Anyway, thanks again for all your support and advice through this whole mess. While things aren't perfectly resolved, I feel vindicated, and I'm trying to focus on my new life with Daniel rather than dwelling on family issues.